Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. I hope that everyone will fine. My name is Nurin Aina binti Basirun and I am from KDA 1183E. Regarding on this assignment was given by my lecturer, here I want to deliver my informative speech which the title was The Unsung Hero, Henry and Cyril Talalla. Are you ever heard this name? Without wasting our time, let's go. Often when we talk about the Second World War, you must keep thinking of the big countries involved such as the British, America, France, Russia and especially Nazi Germany, right? But what if we thought that there were Malays who were also fighting abroad at that time? Not one, but two siblings, like the Wright brothers. If the Wright brothers were a pair of brothers who managed to create the first functioning airplane in 1903, in Malaya we have the Talalla brothers who made fighter jet flight during the Second World War. From the figure 1 shown at the screen, there was Cyril Talalla with Queen Mary being awarded the Distinguished Flying Cross. And from the figure 2, there was the mayor of Aaron and Mall Unwell assigned officially naming the road between the two villages, Road Henry Talalla.
出生于吉隆坡的斯里兰卡后裔，父母都是来自斯里兰卡的移民。父亲 Hewich Talalla 更是一位在当时非常富裕的商人。Cyril 和 Henry 早年在吉隆坡完成高中教育之后，他们本可以选择继承父亲的生意，在吉隆坡过上富足的生活。但不甘于平庸的他们却选择了一条截然不同的道路。就在他们高中毕业的同一年，第二次世界大战正式爆发，纳粹德国以迅雷不及掩耳的速度占领了欧洲各国，让当时英国处于一个非常危急的状态。于是英国政府便开始从各殖民地招募战斗机飞行员。 Cyril 和 Henry 两兄弟就在父母的同意之下，义无反顾地加入了这一个计划。两兄弟在二战期间参与了许多著名的空战，他们不仅是当时英国空军内唯二的马来亚人，也是英国空军为数不多能够驾驶台风顶级战斗机的精英飞行员，为光复欧洲乃至全世界贡献了重要的力量。
I am credible enough to talk about this topic because I have already did research and read some article about the history of Cyril and Henry Talalla. Besides that, I got new information about this history. Let me preview the point that I want to deliver. Firstly, who are they? Second, their contribution. And third, the death of Talalla brothers. So, who are they? Cyril and Henry Talalla are sons of business tycoon Hewich Benjamin Talalla. Hewich was the first person in Kuala Lumpur to use modern sanitation. Hewich Benjamin Talalla has 7 children. He was very concerned about education for his children, so he sent his 2 eldest and second children, who were different just a year, namely Henry and Cyril, to the Victoria Institute in Kuala Lumpur. Henry and Cyril were active and excellent in their studies, even being appointed house prefect in their dormitories. When the call for pilot was sent out to countries in the British Empire, the father encouraged his sons to join the Royal Air Force. That was some information that I got for this point. Next, let's hear and listen about their contribution. Henry and Cyril Talalla were Malayans who joined the Malayan Volunteer Air Force back in 1940. By the time they passed the Royal Air Force entrance test, the Second World War had already started. In 1940, Henry and Cyril Talalla joined the Malayan Volunteer Air Force, which was a part of the Commonwealth. Cyril became the first Asian and non-European to pass the RAF entrance test and enroll as a cadet a year later, followed by Henry. During the war, the family was constantly harassed by Japan force in Malaya. In fact, in late 1941 and following years, the Talalla family lost word of the news of Cyril and Henry going to war. The reason is that the Japan occupation of Malaya at that time caused various chaos and destruction. Even all kind of relation with Japan began to block any access to news. I have already covered the second main point. Next, I will explain the third main point, which is the death of Talalla brothers. The following years, 1944, was a bloody tragedy for the Talalla family. Henry and Cyril, who at the time were Flight Lieutenant Cyril Talalla and Warrant Officer Henry Talalla. In France, Harry's plane was shot down by the Nazis as it flew over the country, causing it to crash and disappear from the radar. When Cyril heard the news, he then went straight to the area to find Henry despite the chaos that was going on at that time. What's more, to find the wreckage of the crash plane, the hope of that time was quite slim. After almost 5 years, the Talalla family got the sad news. The Talalla family in Malaya only got the news about Henry and Cyril when the Japan occupation of Malaya ended in 1945, a year after Henry's death in France. Unbelieving the news, the Talalla family flew to London on their own to look for evidence and the place where he was buried. Henry's body was apparently found the French people on a farm between the town of Iron and Meaux in the Normandy region of northwestern France. They also buried Henry's body next to the wreckage of the Tycoon plane he was piloting. He was only 24 years old at the time of the incident. The remains of Henry's body were later transferred to the Bonneville Campage British Cemetery. When Cyril returned to Malaya in 1945 after the end of the Second World War, he changed his name to Jimmy Talalla. He later served in Federal Air Service, where he flew the first Prime Minister Tunku Abdul Rahman and several other cabinet ministers. Cyril also served in Malaysia Airlines MAS and resigned in 1963 before moving to the Wales to retire, where he died 10 years later at the age of 53. Nora will ever say that all the best heroes are ordinary people who make themselves extraordinary. Last but not least, I hope this topic can gain more knowledge about Henry and Cyril Talalla to my audience. Although they are not glorified heroes, but they are also our heroes.